Welcome to Ventre Synthetic Lubricants. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to store your mower so that it kicks right off in the springtime. It's the worst, right? It's springtime, the grass is knee high, you need to get it cut, and you go to start your mower and it doesn't start. I'm going to show you guys how to prevent that. Most of this stuff today is going to apply to all of your small gas engine equipment. Very similar. So the first thing we're going to do is add fuel stabilizer. The fuel stabilizer, if you don't add it, the gasoline or diesel tends to break down and it starts to varnish, and then it's going to leave that varnish deposit inside your carburetor. And then that's what's going to give you the trouble starting the following year. Okay, so we'll add this. We add 1 ounce per 2.5 gallons. So we're going to add 2 ounces to this 5-gallon jug here. There we go. And then we're going to fill it up. And then after that, we need to run it for 4 to 5 minutes. So I just sprayed some of this power foam in there. The purpose of that is to clean all the gunk and varnish out of the carburetor before I store it. So now it needs to set for 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll fire it back up and it'll burn all that stuff out. So after it sat for about 15 minutes, I ran it for another 5 minutes and to blow all that build up gunk in the carburetor out. So now we're gonna change the air filter. On most of them are all the same. You just take this little 1 bolt here, loosen it, and then it'll fold open and pull your air filter out. So we'll grab our other one, and it's exactly the opposite. We just put it back in, tighten this bolt up. Next, we're going to change our spark plug. So you just pull the boot off here. And we'll take her out. So here's our spark plug. I use these E3 spark plugs in all my vehicles. So we are going to give it a try. I haven't used them for this for a mower yet, but they're supposed to make it start better and burn cleaner, less emissions, and save fuel. So we will see. I like to use the fogging oil in there. Keep that combustion chamber from corroding at all. Put just a little dab of anti-seize on the spark plug threads. If you notice, my last one came out real easy. That's why. We'll put it back in there. Now the Briggs & Stratton says 15 foot-pounds maximum. So you don't have to go nuts with this stuff. So the next thing we're going to do is take the blade off. We'll just take this bolt out here. Now we're going to sharpen the blade. This thing's pretty tore up. I'm not even sure how it was cutting anything. So once we're done sharpening it, we're going to take these pliers and we're going to set the blade on there and figure out which side's heavier. If you notice, it always goes back to this side. So that means that we need to take a little bit more off of this, try and get it to balance. Balancing it is going to, if it's unbalanced, it's going to cause more stress on the rotating assembly of the engine, and eventually it'll wear out bearings and stuff like that. So we want to try and get it pretty well balanced. So that appears to be pretty close. It won't favor one side or the other. So that should be good. So now what we're going to do, once we're all balanced and everything, we're going to take the file and take the burr that the grinder left on the back side of the blade. Right up under here is your drain plug if you were going to change the oil. I change mine usually in the springtime, but you would just take that out and drain it and put it back in and refill it. Normally, the first thing I do before I do any of the service stuff is I wash the equipment. And so I set it up like this and wash the bottom. But I'm not going to do that today because it is cold. So I will save that for another day. But then you take this heavy duty metal protector and spray it up under here, and it does two things. If you've got a steel deck, it'll help keep it from rusting. This happens to actually be an aluminum deck, so that's not an issue. But what it does do is it keeps the grass from sticking so bad. It'll shed that a little better, and it's easier to keep it clean. That grass holds moisture, and then the moisture causes the steel deck to rust. So it's a good, it works well. It works on snow blowers as well. It helps keep it sheds the snow instead of it sticking and then clogging up your scoop. So we'll just put the blade back on here. And one thing I forgot to mention when I took it apart is you want to make sure anytime you're messing with the blade that you leave the spark plug disconnected. Because by spinning the blade, you can spin the engine and thereby cause it to start, and that would obviously not be good. So before you go to take it off, make sure that that is disconnected. So the last step is to check everything over and make sure you get parts ordered that are bad. Like, for example, my back tires are done for. So if I put it away like this, I'm gonna forget about it, and then I'm gonna pull it out next year and they're not gonna be fixed. So I'm going to go order them right now. You know, your pull strings, they tend to go bad. You can pick those up at Walmart. Just get your stuff ordered so that it gets done, because you're gonna forget about it, and then you're gonna pull it out next year, and you know it's not gonna work right, just like I said. So there you go, all ready to go. I'll put it away. when it comes springtime, it'll kick right off. I won't have to worry about it. So just to review, first thing we're going to do is ideally we're going to wash it if it's not as cold as it is out today. Then we're going to run it and clean the carb. That's going to get all that junk out of there and blow it out. Then we're going to tip it up, and that would be ideally when you drain your oil. You want to drain your oil when it's hot because it carries the contaminants with it as you drain it. We'll take the blade off, sharpen it, and balance it, and then once it's cooled down, we'll change the air filter and the spark plug, spray some of that fogging oil in there. That keeps that cylinder from getting moisture in there and then contaminating or corroding. So then we'll put it all back together and we're good to go. So is there something I missed? Do you guys have any cool tricks? Comment down below. I'll have all the parts that I used. I'll put Amazon links for them, and then the AMSOIL products are available at my website. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.